Gentlemen, how's it going? I'm going to be demonstrating to you guys the Enhancement Shaman for patch 7.2.5, which a lot of people recommend this spec. I know that there's some YouTubers that recommend this, and I'm going to go ahead and probably link them down below and see if you guys should watch them, because they are far better than me, because I'm just a crap player. Now, I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not the best player. I'm just a person who plays this for fun. I know that most people don't like me in PvP or P versus E, but the spec I'm going to be using is Hot Hands, Feral Lunge, Lightning Totem, Ancestral Spirit, Overcharge, Fury of Air, and Earthen Spike for one reason. Now, this is probably one of those easy mode specs that people recommend, but it works for me. Now, the only thing I would say most people recommend for PvP is Windsong, Feral Lunge. In Arena, it's mostly used for Earth Totem if you want to use that, because sometimes it can easily, put a rogue out of stealth sometimes if Earth Grab Token comes in useful in Arena, is what I was told. Now, Ancestral Swiftness is another good ability, because I'm going to go ahead and show you. Now, my haste is at 11%, as you can see. If I take it out and put Lightning Shield on, it lowers it because of the crap gear that I have on. Because I don't really have I only have like one legendary, which works pretty well, but I prefer, because you can see right here with the gear that I have on, it's like at 868, and with the gear that I have on, it works pretty well, but at the same time, I would rather have haste on there. I might try to gem up with more haste, because I just can't really stand having such low haste. So the only thing I would recommend is Ancestral Swiftness, because it can increase your haste a lot more by 6%, which is pretty good. And most people recommend Tempest or Overcharge, but the thing I don't like about Stormlash can easily spread to another thing, but I just don't like it. But I'm just going to stick to Overcharge. Whenever I build up Maelstrom pretty fast, and I can even show you how you can build up a Maelstrom pretty fast. There's two ways. You can go with Rockbiter, which pretty much builds your Maelstrom by a small amount, but when you start out a fight, you would go with Feral Spirit, which generates a lot of when you initially attack, and it does a lot of it does build a lot of Maelstrom, and Doom Winds, and those two actually work pretty well. But overcharging it can actually do a million damage. No joke. I actually seen this happen. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you. If I build a lot of Maelstrom, which I'm going to show you, it might build a lot more Maelstrom right now. Now, right here, I'm just going to show you. Whoop, there we go. Dealt a million damage, which is pretty handy. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you about another thing that I did for the initial tier, most people recommend Clashing Storm, which is okay, but it just doesn't do a lot of DPS. But most people recommend it if you're going to be casting Clashing Lightning, which can AoE surrounding enemies, the enemies surrounding you. And it adds more damage, which does like about 60 something per over 8 seconds. But I just don't like it. But it works out for other players. Now, the next one out of the whole thing most people recommend Sundering because it pretty much works out because it knocks back enemies if you use your main hand weapon. And it deals damage, but I just don't like it. Now, the next one is Fury of Air, which pretty much works. I like it. I just don't. But it works pretty well because it does the AoE thing, and I'll demonstrate to you why. And here we go. I'm going to build up with Rock Bite, and then I'm going to go ahead and it just deals natural damage. And it, while you're DPSing, and it also AoEs, you can just go run to somebody nearby, and it just hits them. Now,
it's too far away.
And it generates a little bit of DPS, but it also, per second, you lose 2 every second. Actually, every few seconds. Let me see if I remember. Every 1 second, it deals damage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the Maelstrom here, because it does generate a lot of DPS. Now, from this spec, it does work. Now, the next thing I'm going to be using is Earth Spike. Most people recommend Boulder Face. It does come useful if you're going to use it, and it just recharges faster. And as you can see, I'm just waiting for it to every 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds, it generates a lot of DPS. I'm going to try this and see if it works. But the problem with Boulder Fist, it can deal increased damage, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of difficult to do. It can generate a lot more DPS if I do this. Let me show you. If you're going to focus on a rotation that goes around. But the problem is it just doesn't do... And it is handy, but at the same time, you know, as you can see, I'm just demonstrating to you guys. All it does is add more Maelstrom, and it's useful, and the cooldown is lowered. And it only generates about 300k DPS, which a lot of people recommend, but I just don't like it. Ascendance is okay, but if you have like a lot of mastery, it would work, but the gear that I have on isn't really that good. 33% mastery in Leech, which that's the only thing that Blizzard can give you is crap gear. Now, the only thing I can recommend is Earth and Spike, which I can show you guys. The thing about it is that it doesn't really do a lot of damage. It doesn't do like 1,000,000 crit damage. It's just it adds like 30% natural damage. It deals more damage when you try to hit somebody with it. It just basically buffs, and you can just wail on them and it'll deal more damage. Now I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what it does. And then I'm going to go ahead. Now, it's not recommended, but now a lot of players recommend it, but then again, you know, for P versus E, it can be difficult. Now, the only thing I'm going to do right now is demonstrate what I'm going to be doing with the whole thing. when you start out the fight, you start out with Feral Spirit, and then you use Doom Hands. But I'm going to go ahead and use Feral Lunge and just show you guys what it does. Feral Spirit, Doom Hands, and then just start wailing on the... Now, I didn't use my Blood Fury. I know that most people like the racial, but I'm just demonstrating to also to Alliance players that do this too. And it seems kind of fun, but at the same time it's difficult to master. And as you see, I'm doing 376, and actually 400k, even though it fluctuates at times. And as you can see right here, my gear ain't that great. It's like at 868. And with more haste and possibly more crit, I could probably do more damage. As you can see, it works pretty well. Even though it's not like the best spec in the world, but it works for me. And I kind of like it. It works. But the thing is, Blizzard would probably nerf it if they... because the fact is, I'm not a really good player. I just play for fun. I don't know that Blizzard finds out that if I did something like this, they would probably nerf it to the ground and burn this class to hell if I did something like this, attempting something really this bad. Because a lot of players have been advocating for skill for years, and they want better players, and it's something that I understand that to demonstrate this in P versus E, it does require a lot of skill, and it does require a lot of patience as well to figure out what you want to do with the class. You can experiment a lot with the dummies and just figure out how to do the rotations and such, and it's kind of fun. But anyways, I would appreciate some feedback and some criticisms of anything if you like this video or dislike this video, and I appreciate to leave your comments down below if you would like to criticize me and my methods on DPS and such, because I admit I'm a lousy player and I have my issues with PvP and P versus E. But anyways, as you can see right here, this is what I use as a spec. It's not really, I'm not claiming to be the best or anything like that. I just play WoW for fun. And a lot of the specs that I know that other players have been recommending, these are the specs that you should possibly use if you want to. I can't really say it's the best spec in the world, but it helps me farm gear, because I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my so far my progress. I still need to unlock this. I still need to do the quest line to unlock this so I can get the 3rd relic. And as you can see, you know, I already did the Broken Shore stuff. I haven't really played the Shaman in a while. I might do more videos in the future with other classes and see if they work out. So anyways, leave your feedback down below and tell me some criticism that you have with me and my video. I would gladly appreciate your contribution to helping me improve my videos that I do for World of Warcraft Legion 2.5. So anyways, take care guys, bye bye.